So let's talk about some critical foundational principles that must be in place if you're going to interact with an employer in a business development setting. The first principle, and this idea definitely isn't mine, and it has been around for a very long time, is that if you are going to do this well, you've got to apply the golden rule. If you are going to go out and effectively top-down organize, at least in my mind, you're going to need to be able to treat other people the way that you want to be treated. For an employer, the decision to take his or her shop union is among the biggest they will ever have to make. And you need to be thinking about how you would want to be treated in that situation. You know, in 1936, a cat by the name of Dale Carnegie wrote a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And in that book, he talked about the importance of looking at things through other people's eyes. And when you are going to go out and meet with an employer, you need to think not about what it is that you want or what you need or why you're even there, but you need to think about what is in what that employer wants. Look at things through their eyes. The second principle, and this one means a lot to me, and this is something I feel like I can talk about with some expertise because I stink at it. But if you are going to do this well, if you are going to go out and meet with people, you are going to need to be able to listen. Much of what you will find out about what that person may need, you're going to be able to find out by listening. Again, I feel like I have some level of, or I can talk with some degree of competence on this because I don't listen well. I used to be better, but now I'm as bad as it gets. I've had some conversations with some of you this morning. You can see my eyes drifting away while you're talking to me. It's horrible. I don't even remember people's names. Not because I have a bad memory, but because I'm so worried about what I'm going to say that I don't even hear the person's name when they're introduced. 2 seconds later, I'm thinking, what was that person's name? You have to be a good listener if you're going to go out and talk to employers. The last principle, and you're going to like this one the least. You know, Jerry talked about how busy everybody is. And I know you're all busy. You got too much to do. But there is an undeniable connection, a nexus, between your willingness to prepare and the ultimate results that you'll have when you go out and have these meetings. You know, Abraham Lincoln said that if he had 7 hours to chop down a tree, he'd spend the first hour sharpening the axe. And that's what this is about, sharpening the axe. There was a book written a couple of years ago by a chap named Malcolm Gladwell. He wrote The Tipping Point and another book, I think, called Blink. And he theorized in this book that there's actually logic behind success, that you aren't just great at everything. You can't just dazzle people with your brilliance. And when he looked at people that had been highly successful, he noted that a whole array of people, regardless of their field, whether they're concert musicians, great athletes, really regardless, scientists, computer geeks, they all were able to spend a tremendous amount of time honing their craft before they got really good. There are some certainly exceptions. People have done great work at a young age. And he really went on to say, though, that to get really good at something, you have to spend about 10,000 hours. It takes a while, regardless of what you're doing, to get really good at something. Again, there is a connection between practice and results.